Welcome to this evening's meeting. We're going to have the invocation by Reverend Richard Jenkins, Associate Minister of Travelers Rest Baptist Church in Morrow, Georgia, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, please stand with me. And is the pastor here? Okay. And Pastor, before you start, if we could observe a moment of silence for the slain officers across our country and for those who have lost their lives to senseless violence, please. Thank you, Pastor.
Let us bow our heads, close our eyes in reverence to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's again, oh God, that we come saying thank you. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for this day, oh God, for you are a good God. We come today with bowed hearts. We ask that you take control now of this meeting and our thoughts. You are our creator and our sustainer. You are our light and our fortress. We come now asking for your guiding hand to lead us. We ask for an environment of cooperation. Where there's disagreement, God, we ask that you send agreement. Let us be on one accord this afternoon. God, bless everyone that will speak. Bless our commission board, God. Bless our law enforcement, God. Everyone that makes up this gathering, God, we ask, oh God, that you be in the midst. Bless each home that is represented. In Jesus' name we pray. All that agree said amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the July 19, 2016 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda, but before doing so, I did just want to make a brief announcement on behalf of Vice Chairman Sona Gregory, and that she did provide me with advance notice that she would be absent for this evening's meeting. Does any member want to offer any amendments to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Clerk, I'd like to remove item 8-2, Budget Amendment 4-3/2004 regarding funding for the District 4 Rec Center.
I'll second it.
Probably moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Madam Clerk, I'd also like to hold items 15, 16, and 17, the appointments to the Zoning Advisory Group and to the Veterans Advisory Board. Commissioner Gregory had sent an electronic message that she had some people for consideration.
And second?
Probably moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Those opposed? I'm opposed, so it's 3-1. It passes to hold.
Are there any further amendments? Hearing none, may we have a motion to adopt the agenda with the approved amendments?
So moved.
I'll second it. Probably moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Approval of the July 5th, 2016 regular business meeting minutes.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes from July 5th, 2016.
Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
The board will now hear public comment. Mr. Chairman, we do have citizens that have signed up to address the board. Citizens will be given 3 minutes maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners. Please state your name and county of residency for the record. Speak clearly into the microphone. And speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the board.
Dr. Henry Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. Continuing on giving crime statistics for unincorporated Clayton County, which is under the jurisdiction of the Clayton County Police Department for the first 3 years, 2013, 2014, and 2015. Of all 5 of you, our Clayton County Board of Commissioners being together as a 5-member commission team, I stated during the last 3 commission meetings that category number 1, burglaries, there was a significant decrease. Category number 2, in robberies, there was a slight increase. Category number 3, larcenies, there was a very significant increase. Category number 4, motor vehicle thefts, there was a slight decrease. In category number 5, aggravated assaults, there was a slight decrease. And in category number 6, simple assaults, there was a very significant increase. I start now at category number 7, rapes. The term is self-explanatory. In 2013, there were 82 reported cases of rapes in unincorporated Clayton County. In 2014, there were 65 cases. In 2015, there were 88 cases. Final analysis in the 3-year time period mentioned, 2013, 2014, 2015, the number of rapes have increased by 6. From 82 in 2013 to 88 in 2015. Number 8, criminal homicides. The term is self-explanatory. In 2013, there were 31 reported cases of criminal homicides. In unincorporated Clayton County, in 2014, there were 22 cases. In 2015, there were 18 cases. Final analysis, the number of criminal homicides have decreased by 13 from 31 in 2013 to 18 in 2015. In 2013, in the total of all 8 categories, there were 12,591 criminal cases. In 2014, that was 12,905, and in 2015, that was 12,681. The total of all 8 categories, which is the total crimes committed in unincorporated Clayton County, increased by 90 from 12,591 in 2013 to 12,681 in 2015. However, if you compare 2015 to 2014 and not 2013, the crime numbers decreased by 224 from 12,905 in 2014 to 12,681 in 2015. But when you compare the numbers from 2013 to 2015, crime has increased. I have presented and given you all 5 of you the overall crime numbers in detailed, comprehensive, and complete presentation form, complete with hard, true facts and statistical information from the Georgia Crime Information Center that was sent to them by the Clayton County Police Department. So these numbers come from the Clayton County Police Department. So again, crime was down if you compare 2013 to 2014, which is good, and you all have said that. But if you compare to 2015, that was a slight increase. As I said, the reason that I'm before you, because I always will support the Clayton County Police Department, and I want to make sure you stay ever vigilant to combat crime in this county, because as you know, Chairman Turner, being chief, crime is fluid. It could be down 1 year and up the next year, but it depends on you all being ever vigilant to make sure crime is controlled in Clayton County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Linda Granger.
Good evening again, Chairman and Commissioner. I come tonight with a formal complaint. First of all, I did not come with it, but I'm exercising my right as a citizen of Clay County in this great USA. And again, with Black Lives Matter, I believe all lives matter. If we start from the top and come to the bottom, if we schoolhouse, our internal affair, and everybody, we won't have to deal with this Black Lives Matter. Okay, my concern is I came in, if your security not working, it on your end to make sure that everything in guideline. So when I came the same too often, I want to exercise my right at a civil arrest. I want the head officer in charge to arrest the officer to your left and to your right.
We're not gonna go there.
We may not go there,
If there's
but
a complaint, hold on a second. If there's a complaint, please lodge a complaint
can you?
with me.
I
or
understand
somebody,
you.
and
Can
we'll
I
address
go with
it
my
the chief.
time and then you don't take my time, add it back to
Well,
my
address
time?
this board, ma'am. Don't talk about somebody
Okay,
arresting the
a
officer. or
civil
anything like that.
arrest. I'm asking you, Chairman, to get your chief office to arrest you to your right and to your left. Those 2 officers violated my right going in my purse as before. The chairman before you, Chief Bell, told me with the school, if they do that, have them arrest, and he used other word. But my complaint was coming to you today was about Southside Discount Mall, 6525 Tower Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, date July the 14th, 2016. I also did a police report, case number 1604-1577. Okay, but you did it with your budget, and the lady, I purchased some, I paid $93 $1.94. Okay, they do not stay in Clay County. They doing business in Clay County, but our money going outside of Clay County. Cause this receipt showing John Creek, Georgia, 3005. And so that's showing we let them come in and do business. We not getting the money. So that's why you look at a raise, mill rate, all the, and tax increase. So we need to do something about that. And also, I contact my Congress also about this. And I did make the police report, and they told me, but I told them I did it ahead of time. So I asked you all to investigate that, and I'm ready to get the boost number for the lady. But she go tell me, which my color don't have nothing to do with what I said to that young lady when she asked me. She said Munani. I was taught what Munani mean in Korea, but then she go say with your black self. My color don't have nothing to do with my freedom of speech. It don't have nothing to do with it. And you cannot stop me for having my freedom of speech, violating my constitutional right, and whatever law else is. And I ask you all to make sure when y'all let people come do business, that y'all check
Thank
up
you,
on
ma'am. Your
them.
time is up. And if you have a complaint on a police officer, Deputy Chief Woodall is over here. Please see him after the meeting. He will take your complaint and take it serious.
Okay, then, thank you.
Gwendolyn Wooden. Good, I'm sorry.
Please restate your name for the record, please.
My name is Gwendolyn Gooden, and I am a resident of Jonesboro, unincorporated Clayton County. I'm here this evening to request that you immediately eliminate the recently created position of county consultant. Clayton County does not need such a position. If the county commissioners have found an extra $36,000 in the county budget, I suggest you use those monies to hire an additional police officer, since Clayton County Police Department is understaffed. However, if you still feel there is a need for this new position, it is my recommendation that you find another candidate for the opening, since the current person is already a paid employee of the county and should not be double dipping in county funds. Our county does not need nor want this cloud of impropriety shining on us, and if you want to find and hire quality personnel in the future, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Orlando Gooden.
Orlando Gooden, Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, so I don't know what has transpired, but the last time I was here, there was a proposal for $50,000 for TV monitors, 55-inch TV monitors. Commissioner Edmondson said during that course of that conversation, couldn't we get it cheaper in H.H. Gregg? Being a former employee of H.H. Gregg, I went back and checked. 4 55-inch monitors, 6 22-inch monitors for $10,000. So the question would be, where's that other $40,000 going? It wouldn't have been for installation, and it wouldn't have been for programming. That proposal was voted down. The following week, there was a proposal for $36,000 for a paid consultant, just like my wife said. So I'm sitting there going, what in the world do we need a paid consultant for? And come to find out, he was voted down by his board because he didn't get approval from Clayton County. Then, I guess, the best way I could say it, Bill met what's the name on the plane, and he got reinstated. So I'm not following the use of $40,000 or $36,000 for a consultant when the question came up, how much do we pay an officer per year? It's $35,000. We could use that money. We both know we've had meetings at the Jim Huey and Steve Lundquist Aquatic Center, which I've been an advocate of getting it fixed. Rusted lockers, disgusting showers, all that's supposed to be addressed. It's been addressed for 2 years. I could take that $36,000, not me personally, of course, but I mean, I could use the money. I could take that money, we could take that money. It's just a matter of where are we pointing our funds? And I know you guys go in your executive chamber and you discuss this and we don't get to hear. I'd like to find out who approved $36,000, and did you not do the background check on this man? And if you did, and you approved it, there's something wrong with that. I'm not going to go on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Timothy Vondale Jefferson.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. The theme of my concerns this evening is integrity and due diligence. I had to freshen up on my sunshine laws because the way that position was created, the consultant position, seemed to have been private meetings done prior to the emergency vote that you brought to the table. I'm talking about Resolution 118. And in the midst of my findings through the Open Records Act, I found a disturbing email that Mr. Starr has sent to County Attorney Jack Hancock and yourself, Commissioner Edmondson. Commissioners, I have a couple of concerns with the draft, Section 2 dealing with time records. I don't want to have to provide time records. My view is that I'm compensated for the value of my work, not the quantity of my work. In other words, I have never seen a government negotiate a contract with a vendor to satisfy the vendor's needs. There are some other issues, but that to me is blatant collaboration, which is on the borderline of a sunshine law violation. You stated there was an emergency to add it to the agenda, that the county would save X number of dollars. I did not see the emergency on my due diligence as I dug deep into this issue. And not only that, the due diligence was not done because by him being the executive director of the county housing authority, there was a clause in his contract that he was unable to even engage you all without that board's approval. So the due diligence wasn't done when y'all signed the contract with him on June the 8th. It was just told nobody did their due diligence, the county attorney or yourself. I don't understand the need. We have a qualified economic development director. We have a qualified community development director. In my mind, there's internal collaboration for the betterment of the county. By him being the executive director of the housing authority, it simply should have been a collaboration. There shouldn't have been no $54,000 adhered to over an 18-month period. Not only that, in the resolution, his contract was due to start on July 1 of 2016, but yet he had the audacity to submit an invoice for $2,300. I assume he prorated it himself. But this, I don't know if that invoice.
Your time is up, sir.
My time is up. So I
Thank
didn't
you.
get nowhere near, but I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Looks like Dabert or Dobert Johnson. Mr. Johnson. Robert Johnson, I'm sorry, sir.
Commissioner and Board Chairman, my name is Robert Johnson. I am a former candidate for District 2 Clayton County Commissioners. I'm not campaigning, but people who voted for me are concerned about certain things. Very concerned. Number one on the agenda, and I am lashing on to what has been said earlier. Wade Starr, I met him during the campaign. He's a nice guy. The people in District 2 that voted for Robert Johnson desires answers regarding disappointment. What were you thinking? Commissioner, we can all answer. You don't have to answer one time. Mr. Edmondson, Mr. Hambrick, Mr. Chairman, what were we thinking? This is what the constituents who voted for Robert Johnson are asking him by way of email and by my website. My second contention is personal. That deals with the Veterans Advisory Board. The two incidents that concern me most were in the United States, in Texas and Louisiana, were done by veterans. I stood before this board on May 17th and asked you to establish this advisory board. Of course you did. Now, what were the requirements and what were the prerequisites to actually sit on this board? Are they veterans? Do they have a Duty 214? Are they sponsored by the VFW, DAV, American Legion? These are the questions you need to ask, because there are serious questions concerning qualifications and the mentorship of veterans who depart the branches, Marines, Army, Navy, whatever, without sponsors. And if we don't do something in Clayton County, these things could happen. Not that I would suggest, but take a strong look at the advisory board. I told you on May 17th, I had 30 years as a warrant officer. Not a single call, not an email. And Mr. Chairman, I sent you a check sheet for establishment of an advisory board. I never heard anything back. Please consider those things, and remember, we work for the citizens of Clayton County. Thank you.
Thank you. Morgan Goss.
Good evening. I'm here today to speak on equine awareness in Clayton County, or the lack that we have. I was involved in an accident on July 4th with a vehicle that hit me from the back while I was riding on my horse. And the officer did not know if it was legal or not for me to ride my horse. And I explained to them, you know, it is legal, it's a law, it's a code and everything. But they did not cite the car because they didn't know. So no ticket was given. But it brought me to thinking that we don't have anything in Clayton County for equine or livestock as far as a veterinary office. Our officers and fire department don't have any medicines or equipment to handle large animals in case of an emergency. Just for instance, if I didn't move my horse when I did and the car did strike my entire horse and me, it would be an ambulance for me, but it would be nothing for my horse. And you know, everybody in equine community, we see our horses as like our kids. You know, you can call the ambulance if your kid is sick. You can take your kid to the hospital. We don't have that in Clayton County. We don't have a vet office that we can take our horses to. We don't have anybody for emergency to call if our horses are sick. If our horses are stuck in the mud or break a leg, we have nothing, nobody. I have to travel at least 30, 40 minutes to get to the nearest vet office. We don't have street signs on the roads where it's legal for us to ride our horses. I was hit on a road where it was a street sign, but since the officer did not see it, once again, he didn't cite the car. So the car got off with hitting me on my horse. Luckily, thankfully, me and my horse weren't seriously injured, but we were both sore because we took the car mirror off. You know, I have a really big horse. But what I want to get across is that we need more signs where horses are allowed to ride. We need horse crossing signs in front of our barns so people know that it's horses in that area. Because getting hit on a horse, it's a terrible, terrible feeling, and it can be a terrible outcome. You know, it can end very bad for the owner and the horse. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention.
Thank you. What part of town do you live in?
Ellenwood.
Ellenwood.
Yes.
Do you know your district commissioner, Ms. Sana Gregory?
No.
Okay, you might want to get with her, talk to her constituent aide, and talk about what can be done in that area.
Okay, and I also wanted to know if, I guess that if it would be possible that we educate our officers and fire department on what to do.
You see Deputy Chief Joe Woodall right there?
Okay.
Have a nice little conversation
Okay,
with him.
all right, thank you.
Madam Clerk, that concludes.
This concludes public comment. The board will now hear a presentation. This is on the introduction to Teams Total Enterprise Activity Management System. This is a comprehensive database to track and monitor the progress of SPLOS projects. This will be presented by Mr. Gregory Dixon, SPLOS Program Manager with Moreland Atabelli Associates, Inc.
Good evening, Chairman Turner, Commissioners. As she said, I'm Gregory Dixon. I'm your SPLOS Program Manager with Moreland Atabelli. We have OLH as one of our prime consultants. I have Jennifer Manucci with me here today. We're here tonight to present to you a program that we're using to assist us in monitoring the special local option sales tax projects. We call it TEAMS. You've recently started to receive monthly reports from us, a book that looks like this. We'll probably start to send those to you digitally. It takes quite a bit of paper to put them there. I don't know how much you go through them, but the TEAMS program will make it a whole lot easier for you to access information about different projects in your districts or throughout the county. Like I said, I have Jennifer here. She's going to give just a very short presentation regarding TEAMS.
If you would, please just restate your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Jennifer Manucci with OLH. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for your time. As they mentioned, TEAMS is a comprehensive database that was developed specifically for these types of sales tax programs. It manages, it gives us a place to track every aspect of the program, made up of multiple modules. One of the things that makes TEAMS such a powerful tool is it's web-based. So users can access it from their mobile device. They can access it at home. They can see the information that the person that's accessing it in the office is entering almost immediately. TEAMS is very user-friendly. It's easy visuals to get you immediately to the types of information that we think you're going to want to see. This entry-level screen is a Google map, but we've overlaid it with all of your projects in the program. They're color-coded so that you can immediately see which projects are in construction, which are in design, which are completed, or which are yet to start. You have the option to narrow down and filter this information by district and by other options so you can quickly get to the projects that interest you. And then it has a typical Google Map capabilities of zooming and in and out and whatnot. With one click from this screen, you can click on a project and immediately get project information that tells you a little bit more about that project with scope and status. One more individual click and you can get to your detailed information, financial information, schedule information, SLBE, and minority percentages. Again, you're getting real-time updates. You're seeing person in the office enters it, it's available for you immediately, which helps get you the up-to-date information that you're going to need. All of these projects are then able to be summarized. We have various reports. They're customizable. We have a monthly history log of what's happened to date, and we're able to produce the monthly report that he showed you with a click of a button. One of the modules, we couldn't go through all the modules, but one of the most important modules is contracts management, invoices. This is where we track our small local business and minority numbers that I know are so important on these types of programs. It allows you to keep up to date and help you make sure you're meeting your goals. Again, we mentioned the monthly report. I've seen programs where it takes them 2 weeks to pull together a report like this. With TEAMS, we press a button, you've got the information. In this case, you'll be able to go straight to the system and see it. You won't even need the report if you don't, if you prefer to use your mobile. We're very proud of our executive level reporting. We have customizable graphs, so the information that's in TEAMS that's important to you, we can develop custom graphs and charts so that you can see immediately the high level types of numbers and data that you want to see. You're also, based on your username and password, able to customize on your device what you see when you enter the system. You can kind of choose to only see projects in your district at first glance, or only projects that are in construction or completed. You know, whatever you find most useful as you're out and you want to just click on the system and get to it, we have that capability. So we think it's a very powerful system. It's very useful. It's going to add transparency to the program and just help to deliver a successful program. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Gregory, who's going to talk to you about the path forward. Thank you.
All right. Basically, our path forward from here is to start to train staff on it. We want to assist in setting it up on your iPads or your iPhones or smartphones if you want to access it that way. There'll be different drill down levels for different directors or department heads. So we'll be implementing that program going forward. Another thing that the COO suggested that I mentioned to you, another program that we're working on is our communications program. We're going to be meeting with CCTV 23 and your IT department, and we're basically going to provide updates to them, video, graphics, that will be on the county website under the SPLOST tab. So I think that that'll start to give the citizens a very good idea of what's going on. You know, as we report on a project, we are looking at interesting things such as using drones. Hadn't talked to Jeff Matarco about that yet, but Parks and Rec and the fire department, we found out, have drones that'll give us an opportunity to put some video up of the larger projects that take up a good bit of distance. You know, and it's just a lot easier to see what's going on from an altitude as opposed to just on the ground. So we've got some great ideas and some great things in motion in regards to openness and easy reporting and easy access to information on the SPLOST program. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate the presentation and thank you for the work that you're doing. Hold on.
I have a question.
Sir, there's a question for.
When can we expect this first report from the teams? Because I'm interested in knowing what we're doing on with the SLBEs, and also when can we expect the first report from teams?
Well, you've already given us a hard copy, right?
We already
Yeah,
have
you've
one.
received a book like this for. We started publishing this and sending it to you in April.
Okay, I
This
thought
is the May
Teams
version
was-
of it. It'll be coming out again in June.
I thought Teams was electronically.
Oh, well, Teams generates this document. As far as Teams access, we can start dialing people into it as soon as you're ready. You know, we'll start scheduling the rollout to the board members and to the department heads immediately.
I would like, thank you, because I have some projects, big projects, and I really want to know what's going on with them.
You do.
Okay.
You do. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you again for your presentation.
The board will now consider request of Carol Rogers, Interim Director of Central Services.
Ms. Rogers, please take them all together except for number 2. Take that one separately.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. First item we have is cancellation of contract for convenience of county, RFB package number 14-48, which is Clayton County Tree Service as requested by the Interim Director of Parks and Recreation. The request for the Parks and Recreation Department is to cancel RFB 14-48, which is Clayton County Tree Service with Computer Buzz, Inc., located in Atlanta, Georgia, for the convenience of the county. A copy of the contract provision, termination by the county for convenience and default of termination are attached as Article number 12. The Board of Commissioners approved the contract award on November the 18th, 2014. The vendor has also agreed to the cancellation of the contract. Next item is recommendation for renewal of annual contracts, RFB number 1404, which is for Clayton County, Georgia, for the Department of Transportation and Development, Landfill Earthen Material Service, annual contract renewal with Stephen Industry LP, located in College Park, Georgia. The renewal period is from August the 25th, 2016 through August the 24th, 2017. There are no remaining renewals on this contract. The Board of Commissioners approved this award on July the 15th, 2014. Next item is RFB Package 14-06, which is for tools and hardware supplies for Clayton County, annual contract renewal. This is a multi-award annual contract. First renewal is with Swift Feed and Garden Supply, Inc., located in Jonesboro, Georgia, with the renewal period from August the 1st, 2016 through July the 31st, 2017. The second renewal is with W.W. Granger, Inc., located in Alpharetta, Georgia. The renewal period is from August the 1st, 2016 through July the 31st, 2017. There are no remaining renewals on this contract, and the Board of Commissioners approved this award on July the 15th, 2014. Next, RFP Package 14-36, which is liquid asphalt supply services for Clayton County for the Department of Transportation and Development. This is an annual contract renewal, multiple award with Black Lidge Emulsions, Inc., located in College Park, Georgia, with the renewal period from September the 22nd, 2016 through September the 21st, 2017. Next renewal is with Aragon Asphalt and Emulsion, Inc., located in Pelser, South Carolina, with the renewal period from September the 1st, 2016 to August the 31st, 2017. This is there's one remaining renewal on this contract, and it was approved by the Board of Commissioners on August the 5th of 2014. Last one for renewal is 2014-Y, which is for electronic monitoring services and equipment for the Clayton County Juvenile Court. It's an annual contract renewal with BI Incorporated, located in Boulder, Colorado, and the renewal period is from August the 5th, 2016 through August the 4th, 2017. There are no remaining renewals on this contract, and the Board of Commissioners approved this award on July the 15th, 2014. Number 4 is for the recommendation of an extension of contract, Second Amendment, RFB Package 13-09, which is for public safety uniforms. This recommendation is being made pursuant to Section Code 2-136. We are requesting to amend the contract currently with TNT Uniform South, located in Jonesboro, Georgia. The amendment is for a 30-day extension period from August the 1st of 2016 to August the 31st of 2016 to cover the review of bids received and award of a new supplier. The department recommendation, vendor acceptance, and contract amendment are attached for your review and information. So for these, I request that you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman, his designee, to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contracts, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it, probably moved in second. Those in favor, are there any questions on any of the items?
I have one question.
Yes.
On the first 14-48, what was the specific breach that the vendor?
Yes, within the contract, it determines based on the quote, they're supposed to actually quote us by the caliber inches of the tree diameter. They were doing it by the inches, which was costing more money. So when we went back to make sure that they were in line with the contract, they determined they could not do it. So at that point, we decided to go ahead and cancel the contract. The vendor was in agreement, so we will rebid, and in the meantime, we'll quote the services as needed.
Did we pay?
It was at the beginning, I think so, and that's what actually caught it when we started viewing the invoices and looking to see that they did not match up with the terms of the contract. And from that point, we did contact the vendor, and that's what resulted from that.
Good job.
Okay.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
And bring item number
Number
two.
two.
Okay, this recommendation is for the design build of a concession stand at Flat Shoals Park, utilizing the Georgia statewide contract number SWC 9999 SPD S201602160-002. The recommendation is to utilize the statewide contract for the design build of a concession stand at Flat Shoals Park from Centennial Contractors Enterprise, Inc., located in Atlanta, Georgia, in the amount of $467,419.83, as requested by the SPLOST PM Program Manager. Funding is available through the FYE 2009 SPOS Fund and the HUD CDBG Grant Fund. The SPOS PM recommendation memo and agreement are attached for your review and information. This request is for you to approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions? I have a few questions. Is Mr. Hodges here? Mr. Stanford?
And Mr. Ejike.
What was the original amount budgeted for this concession? It's the concession stand, correct?
Yes, sir. There was not amount budgeted for the concession stand. There was allocation of $250,000 through CDBG funding that we were looking at initially.
So I have before me estimate for almost $500,000, $470,000 for concession stand.
Correct.
What more are we getting above the $200,000 that was originally earmarked?
Well, again, the earmark was the amount of money that we were looking at. The initial amount, we were looking at doing renovations to the concession stand. Once we looked at the renovations amount, we felt like that wasn't feasible based upon some water issues and some other things we needed to address as far as mitigating the work within the park. So our next plan, once we went back and had a bigger discussion with the commissioner.
What year was this?
This was
The initial.
The initial request started back in 2013, I believe. It's when we initially started discussing the need for.
Is that correct?
Two,
It's not a stand, it's a building.
Two
What date was that? What year?
2012.
Okay.
Again, what are we getting for $470,000 in terms of the
You're getting
building,
the
the size
design.
of the structure, and how does that compare to the other concession stands that we have around the county?
So there's two things that we're getting for the 466. You're getting the design, you're getting an actual new building, opposed to renovation, which was the beginning of the project. We started out as a renovation project. It wasn't a complete rehaul of the overall concession building.
Hold on a second there. I'm sorry. You said it's renovation?
No, the initial project in
Now it's a totally new
2012.
building.
That is correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Do any of the other parks qualify for new building of a concession stand?
How old is this building?
Well,
Let him
one
answer that
question.
question.
Do any other parks across the county qualify for new building of concession stands?
So let me understand your question, Commissioner. Are you asking whether or not, because there's two funding sources, there's CDBG funding and then there's SPLOST money. A lot of other buildings throughout the county do not qualify for CDBG funding.
Oh, why not?
Pretty much just because of the what are the qualifications of CDBG?
The low mod requirements.
The what?
The low moderate income requirements.
Low mod income requirements is how we end up looking at funding the projects from the very beginning. So to your point, like Panhandle Park, as we looked at using CDBG funding in Panhandle Park, that would not qualify.
Because the income level
Yes, ma'am.
in that area is higher than the income level at Flat Shoals Park.
That is correct.
Okay, so the CDBG money,
Yes, sir.
could that be used for any other projects?
Certainly.
Okay, because I have a dilapidated, rundown police station that's in District 1 that needs renovations badly. But we're gonna take this money and stick it into a concession stand. I have a problem with that. Do you have a question, Commissioner Ambrecht? I cut you off a second ago.
Yes, when I was elected in 2000, took office in 2009, and I went around to all the parks. Flat Shoals Park had been left out of any renovations, any monies for how many years that you were in office. Nobody had paid any attention to Flat Shoals Park. So there was a list of things that the citizens in the north part of the county, District 2, wanted to see happen. And those were improvements. Number one was improvements at Flat Shoals Park, which included the concession stand, or concession building. And then when that was looked into, there were so many problems with the water and other things that happened. There was no way that we could, as you said, renovate that facility that we have there now. So because we didn't move swiftly, there were things that were coming about, like Chairman is saying now about a police station or whatever, other things kept coming up. And again, Flat Shoals Park was put on the back burner. So now we finally get the money after, how many years has that been?
Since
2012, 4 or 5 years. We finally have all the funding together and back at that park. And now I would like to see the citizens of District 2 finally catch up with the other part of the county that has always gotten monies from the county or whatever, grant funding or whatever. So now we're asking for a concession stand that's conducive to all the others in the county.
But it's not conducive. What I understand is Superior, because we don't have a concession building in District 3.
There is a concession building at the Panhandle Park.
Not like the one that you're building at Flat Shoals.
$470,000. Can a concession stand, a nice one, be built for $200,000? The regular amount absent of the CDBG.
So the escalation in cost has a lot to do with material costs. When we tried to do this internally, I guess about two years ago, when Building and Maintenance was going to serve as the project manager, the material alone was about $250,000 in material costs. So we were able to save money because we're going to use county labor to build the facility. When that became infeasible to build the facility with county labor, that's why we went out to state contract to have a contractor to take care of the work. So you see an escalation not just for material costs, but you're also looking at the labor costs. That's the reason why I said it's over.
So are you telling me we can't build a concession stand unless we build it for $470,000?
No, Chairman. That's what I'm saying is that based upon the state contract, based upon us using outside labor, based upon the going costs right now, this is the price that we came up with.
I understand that. My question to you, yes or no, if you can answer it as such, can a cheaper building be built?
I can't answer that question. I don't have that information in hand to speak intelligently to whether or not we could or
Dietrich,
couldn't.
how much is the water problem that's up there?
When we did a hydrology study, we mitigated some of those challenges. It ran us around about $35,000 to look at. We used Nova, I believe, was the company of record to address some of the water issues at the park.
Okay, I have no further. Any other questions? All right, those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Aye.
It's 2-2. It's no vote. Thank you.
The board will now consider a request of Ramona Bivens, Chief Financial Officer.
Please take yours together.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Board. I have 4 items for your consideration this evening, 1 budget amendment and 3 requests for refunds. Budget Amendment 4-1 is for 2009 SPLOST to appropriate funds from fund balance in the amount of $6,500 to provide additional funding for improvements at Bonanza Mini Park. We have a request for a refund in the amount of $50 made payable to Sharina Kimbrough in Riverdale, Georgia, to refund the business license fee. We have a request for a refund in the amount of $2,000 payable to Amin Punjani in Stockbridge, Georgia, denial of alcohol license. And the last item is a request for a refund in the amount of $1,800 for MPTC LLC of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's due to the business license denial.
All right, is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Properly moved in second. Are there any questions? I just have one little simple question. The Bonanza Mini Park, where exactly is that? Mr. Stanford?
Where is it?
Yeah, the Bonanza Mini Park.
It's off of Panhandle Road, down from Panhandle Park.
Next to the fire station?
Yes, sir.
Is that it?
That's correct.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interim Chief Staff Attorney Jack Hancock.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 resolutions for your consideration. Resolution
Take them
2000.
together, please, John.
Excuse me. 2016.
Just 2, Jack?
Just 2.
Don't jinx
Two.
us now.
2016-143 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to accept forfeited real property pursuant to OCGA Section 161349 and Superior Court Order in 2016 CV 04127-9 for county use without restriction, to authorize the chairman or his designee to accept the property on behalf of Clayton County, to execute any documents necessary, and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. And Resolution 2016-144 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to accept a forfeited Toyota RAV4 from a Clayton County Police Department drug investigation, to authorize the sale of such property in a manner as will be in the best interest of the county, to provide for the dispersal of sale proceeds, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on either item?
I do. We're forfeiting real property. What's gonna happen after we gain somebody's real estate?
I don't know the answer to that question, Madam Commissioner. Do you know
Major Green.
if there is a plan for it?
Mr. Hancock, it'd be sold at auction.
Okay. It will be sold at auction, so we will
Oh,
not
okay.
retain it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you. We do need executive session for litigation matters.
And
shortly.
personnel.
And personnel. All right, sir.
Item number 11, this is a discussion item on the Commissioner's Block Grant.
All right, this is a discussion that was asked of Commissioner Rooks.
Right. Last year, Commissioner Hambrick brought up that one entity that we had on our list was no longer in effect. They're actually been terminated. Have we gone through this list of people who requested funding from us to see if they're actually in existence?
To my knowledge, the collaborative, Clayton Collaborative, did all of that, and they brought us the list of applications that they had received for people that they were recommending, and then all the ones that had applied for the grants as well.
Wait, they don't do CDBG grants at
No.
all. They do the charitable grant, which
Right.
is what
That
these
is-
are. These are
That's
not
what we're talking about.
CDBG.
I know.
Didn't y'all say a discussion on CDBG?
No.
Okay, I apologize. I've misunderstood.
Well, if that's correct, have they always done that?
I don't think I'm not sure if they, I
They
can't say
started
yes or
doing
no.
it
They
about 2
started doing
years
it
after
when-
Commissioner.
Well, they
Right.
didn't do it last year because the
'Cause it came to us.
organization, right, the organization that was on there was no longer in existence.
Right, and that's why this year we had sat down with them and talked to them and let them know that they need to be part of the criteria that they check before they send it to us. So I believe these applications that were sent to you all, if I'm not mistaken, I have two of the last ones that we sent to you. They were the two that were sent after the deadline. I believe they have their business license or their EIN numbers, everything in there as well. So those are the things that they had gone through and given to us to move forward to the commissioners.
So what's going to be our process for awarding this grant money? What do
With
you
the pro-
recommend to us?
Sure. Because these, in the past, we have just carried forward the people that had received the grants in the past. So because these are grants that the commissioners are awarding to your constituents or to the different entities in the community, we had decided last year after we had the issue that we would let the commissioners look at all of the grants and come back with the recommendation that they would like for us to award those grants to. After that recommendation, legal actually gets those, and they will then do the contracts that go out to each one of these individuals for them to sign. Once they sign the contract and send it back to us, we will then, in finance, we will disperse the funds at that time.
So based on the list that we have before us, we can make a recommendation about the amount that has already been budgeted per
That
what
is
they
correct. The
requested.
amount is $1,862,125. And as you see, we have $2,785,574 in requests. So we've had probably that many more requests in the past, but again, as I stated earlier, they've always been awarded to the entities that have been receiving them. I think last year you all kind of changed that. You reduced one organization and added one or two last year. So that's your prerogative. You can do that again if you would like.
Do we get reports from these organizations as to what they have done? Have they spent the money?
We have been getting, as a matter of fact, last year, because of the issue that we had, the internal auditor went out and did an audit to make sure that they had all their financial records intact and in place. And I think it was one or two, I can't remember off the top of my head, I have the report upstairs, that there were issues with. And I think one of the two, if not both, corrected those issues. And we do require them to send a copy of their annual financial report at the end of the fiscal year. We have not received those. We received most of everything that we've asked for, but we haven't received anything, because everybody's just ending their fiscal year, I think, for those that have the same fiscal year as we do. Some are from January 1 to December 31st. We have received those already from last year.
How can we go about adding requests as to, if they say they serve 50 people, is there some way we can, I guess, maybe change whatever the requirements are? If there are requirements, and if they're not, we need to, I think, make some requirements and all, instead of just handing out money. I think people need to be accountable.
And I agree, but I think first we need to know what those requirements are.
Right,
How
and
are
I guess
they
John Brinson, who's with the Clayton Collaborative, he handles all of these particular, it's like a flow through their organization, and he has all the requirements, and they should have been, I have a copy of one, but the application, it has certain information that's required on there. Now, I can give you another copy of these applications. You can look at them and see if there's anything you want added or removed, and we can communicate that to him.
And for a bigger discussion, I would like to get a copy of the requirements that they look at
Okay.
when they're vetting the applications.
Okay, I'll email
And
them
down
and
the
ask them
road,
for
then
it.
we can take another, or the board can have another discussion in terms of strengthening those requirements, or
Not a
whatever
problem.
direction the board wants to go in.
Okay.
So, Ms. Bivens, so let me understand this. So, the collaborative authority has a list of requirements that this board doesn't know about. They accept applications based on an unknown list of requirements and vet them, but then legal and finance have to go back and check for business licenses and EINs. Now, for example, Historical Jonesboro, they never even got last year's check.
Who
For
was
some
this?
other, Historical Jonesboro is one of the items on this list. They never even picked it up. Or so they told me.
Okay, I'm not sure. I would have to check to see.
So, okay,
I
so we got
wasn't aware
legal,
that
we
they
got
hadn't.
finance, we got the collaborative authority, we got this board. Who's in charge, and do we have any idea? Plus, as you just said, what discretion do the individual members want on here? How many police officers could we hire for that amount of money?
I'll say that I do know that we don't disperse any funds until we get the contract back from legal. Once legal gets a signed contract back from the awarding, the entity that received the funds, we won't disperse any money until we have that contract.
So what happens if somebody doesn't pick up their check or sign back the contract before the end of the fiscal year? Does it roll back to general fund?
Money stays in general fund, yes, sir. That money is not awarded to anyone.
They can't come back after the end of that fiscal year and say, I forgot to pick it
No,
up,
sir.
or they just lose it? So,
They just lose it, yes.
so there's a forfeiture clause in the contract?
I defer to.
Or is that part of the application process? Is that finance, legal, collaborative authority? Who makes that decision?
We just don't pay it. If I don't get a contract, it just doesn't get paid, and then it just rolls back into the general fund. And without a contract, we can't pay. And once it goes, it doesn't cross, the funding doesn't cross over fiscal years.
And where does, who writes that contract?
Legal does that contract.
Okay.
What qualifies the collaborative group to do this?
Commissioner Hamrick, that was in place when I came on board.
How
and
long have they been vetting us?
I have no idea. Look, Jeanette, do you
Do you
know?
have any idea, Mr. Hancock?
Are they in place
25
simply?
Jack says 25 years, at least.
Are they in place simply to vet these entities, or do they do something else?
They're for something else.
They do? They do something else?
They're in place to provide a buffer between this board and the public asking us for money for every little thing.
Okay. Yeah. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay.
Any other discussion on it?
Who assigns the dollar amount to be allocated amongst the various requests?
There's a request in the application.
No,
They
no,
have
no,
a-
no, on a broader level. In the budget process, who determines the dollar amount? We're gonna give $2 million this year, or $3 million last year. How does that number get derived?
Since I've been here, we typically left it at the same level. That funding has not increased since I've been here, so that number was established a while back. So it's just a continuation of funding each year.
And there's no model or formula for that you're aware of? It's just some arbitrary number that was carried
That was a
forward from
number that
previous
was-
years?
Yes.
One other question. I noticed some groups have requested one amount, but they either got more or less. Who makes that determination?
The group that requested they include their requested amount in their application.
Right.
And so what your question is, if they requested,
Who
say,
makes that determination as to
$50,000?
whether or not they get that amount or not before it gets to us? Is
The
that,
collaborative does that. They have a matrix that they go through. They have a group of people that read all the applications and they rate them or grade them. I believe I sent you, when I sent all when you got all the applications, I think I sent you a copy of the rating form that they did and the ones that they were recommending.
And it looks like they either got the amount that they requested or less. Nobody got more than what they requested.
in the past, they have gotten more.
Sure they have.
They have been, yeah.
Yeah, if a commissioner requested that they received more than
Well,
what was
I've,
asked.
they have gotten more.
Any other discussion? You good, Commissioner Brooks?
We just got a lot of work to do on this.
All right, well, thank you for that discussion.
You're welcome.
When does that come to us for a vote?
Well, the funding is available in the budget already. We're just waiting on you all to decide which individuals you would like to provide the funding to. And then once you approve that, once we get that list together, we can present it. Once you all submit that information to all of us, we'll prepare and have it on the agenda for you all to approve, the contracts on the agenda for you to approve, as we have in the past. Isn't that correct, Mr. Hancock?
Well, I know you mentioned something about the fiscal year.
Fiscal year's
We're in the
already started.
we're in the
know.
beginning of a new fiscal year already.
I know, but you mentioned to Commissioner Edmondson about someone not picking up a check if it's
no,
passed.
he said that Historical Jonesboro, I believe you said, did not pick up their check last year.
So what was
So
that
that
date?
money, I don't know which one he's talking
June
about. I have to go back
30th
and
is
look.
when the fiscal year ends.
Our
And what
fiscal
Ms.
year ends
Bivens
June
says, if
30th.
they don't pick up a contract in response to signing a contract by June 30th, they
don't
don't
get the
get it,
money.
and her
Okay,
policies
but
are
we're
rolled
in
back
the
to-
next fiscal year, so how long will we have before? Can
Just
we
as soon as
go till November, December, or can we go to June of next year?
A lot of these organizations are waiting. This is a lot of their operational costs.
That's a
We've
They'll bug you
typically,
about it, but we can
we've
do whatever we
typically
want.
done it, the approval around October, because I
Okay.
remember sending out checks in October, November timeframe.
Any other discussion?
And typically, those that are awarded the money, they come get their money, so. We have a few. I know I had one last year that didn't, because Commissioner Gregory had called me about a particular entity, and they had not come to pick up their check. I called legal, and they said they have not received any communications back from them, and I think they had tried to contact them twice. So if they don't respond or send back, they don't get their money.
Yeah.
All right, that ends discussion topics.
Okay. Item number 12 is an announcement of the finalists to be interviewed for the zoning administrator position at the August 2nd, 2016 Board of Commissioners meeting. Chief Operating Officer Dietrich Stanford.
Chairman, Board of Commissioners, this will serve as the public announcement of the 3 finalists to be interviewed for the Planning and Zoning Administrator position at the August 2nd, 2016 Board of Commissioners meeting in executive session. The finalists are Mr. Kalanis Johnson, Ms. Tarika Peaks, and Ms. Kimberly Smith. Copies of the application documentation for the top 3 finalists will be available Wednesday, July 20th for public review at the Human Resources Department located at 120 Smith Street, Jonesboro, Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Stamp.
Items 13 and 14 are board appointments. The first is an appointment to the Board of Appeals Zoning to fill the expiring term of Mr. Don McMillan Jr. The term is 3 years, expiring on August 19, 2019. This is a full board appointment. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Chairman, Dr. McMillan is asked to remain on that board if we'll approve it. So with that, I make a motion.
I'll second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
And the next is an appointment to the Board of Elections and Registration to serve in a seat currently held by George Sly. The term is 4 years, expiring on December 31st, 2016. This is Commissioner Hambrick's appointment.
Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Sly would like to remain on the Board of Elections.
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this does conclude this evening's agenda.
Can I just ask a quick question? I'm sorry. Ms. Ruth Ash is here too, and that's chairman's appointment. Why is it, the term expires December 31st of this year. Why wasn't that brought back?
I'm sorry,
Seemed like she was just
which board?
reappointed just recently.
No, it runs with your election cycle.
Well, it's not on the agenda.
Commissioner
so-
Brooks,
Okay,
you're
all
referring
right.
to the Elections and Registration
Yes.
Board. We will be bringing that back in November, the actual appointments for the December 31st, 2016. We'll be bringing that back at a later date.
Okay.
Are you saying that even though his second term doesn't start until January 1st, that you want him to consider reappointing or replacing her 5.5 months early?
She just did it.
That's because he stepped down, so we
Oh.
reappointed him.
Well, I'm just confused about the process. I
Right.
apologize.
He has to.
What happened?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, motion to go
Okay.
into executive session.
I don't know yet. I move that we go into executive session.
I'll second it, probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you all.
Yep.
All right, motion to reconvene.
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Hancock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Three things quickly. I'd ask the board to authorize the chairman or to approve the execution by the chairman and authorize him to execute a contract with Mr. Robert Burns for the acquisition of a permanent easement across his property on Walt Stevens Road for the extension of the path that is being installed there. The compensation paid would be $3,000 plus the installation of a 4-foot fence along the path.
So moved.
I'll second it. Probably moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Take the last two together.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, will. The second thing is a sign agreement with UHC at Anchor for to allow the relocation of a sign at that business on Godby Road onto county property. We are taking as right-of-way property from them for the expansion of Godby Road. The tract that is remaining does not allow for the location of the sign. This agreement would allow them to locate it on the right-of-way, subject to the conditions that we can require that it be relocated if it gets in the way or needs to be relocated because of county improvement at the county's discretion. And the last item is the extension of the contract with Steve Palmer, who is the Washington consultant that has been assisting the county with regard to the fuel tax, aviation fuel tax issue in Congress for an additional 6 months to expire December 31st, 2016. The terms of the contract would be payments of our portion, which is slightly under 50% of $4,000 for September, October, November, and December, or 4 months. Where the cities are participating in the percentage of the loss agreement, and the school board's paying the other 50%.
All right, so motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Probably moving second. Any questions on
I
either
have a
item?
question on the one, the last one about
Yes, ma'am.
the lobbyists.
Yes, ma'am.
Are the school system and the cities?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they in agreement to this too?
Yes, ma'am.
To the change, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know that they voted on it, but they have all been polled and have indicated their agreement.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second it, properly moving second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Have a good night.